Hello, hello, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm excited. This morning we have Cyrissa from Immerse Photography on the call. She is an Instagram wizard.
Boom.
I'm pretty stoked to have somebody walk us through social media. Just continues to evolve and change, and it's hard to get focused on how to use just one platform really well. And Cyrissa is going to walk us through what she's doing to get awesome results from her Instagram marketing. Cyrissa, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I am so pumped to be here.
Thank you. Awesome. So, real quick, where are you located and what kind of photography you shoot? What's your background? How'd you get to here?
So I am located in Southern Ohio. Nate and I were just joking that I'm in Dayton, Ohio. That we joke is the armpit of Ohio. It's between Columbus and Cincinnati, for those of you who haven't been here. But just kind of Southern Dayton area. And I shoot a lot of family clients. I do dancers. I do weddings. I don't specialize in one thing. Just I love it all, and I'm energized by it all.
Yep.
And I think as an artist, we have a lot of moments where we're like, oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. And I think that's how I feel with the photography. I have a very hard time saying that I could just do one thing. So, I think most of you would know this, if you do families, that involves into weddings and that involves into babies. So it just kind of snowballs. So
Totally.
anyone who comes to me, if I feel like we're a good match, I'll take them on. And if not, I refer them on to someone else who's got a skill set that could totally kill their session for them.
Right. Yeah, I think that photography fits that creative personality so well, where
Yes.
it can become as big or as small as you want it. It makes it really easy to kind of dabble in and then gradually get bigger and bigger.
Oh, yeah.
And I think another big piece is so much of business today is relationship based and
Yes.
experience based, right? Where like people want to experience something more than they care about just a product or this, or
Right.
like they want a full on
Absolutely.
experience, which makes the personality and the relationship that much more important. And once they work with you, they want to work with you for everything. Like, oh,
Yes.
you can do this too? Oh, you can do
Uh-huh.
this too? It's
Yeah.
like, yep, we'll give it a whirl.
I am your photographer.
Heck yeah.
And I think that's what's so beautiful about social media is that you can be so relational and you can totally let your personality shine and come through. And you're exactly right. People aren't just looking for a pretty picture. Some of them are, but the ones that are really going to be the clients that stay with you in the long haul, those are the ones that want to come to you and they want to feel pampered and they want to feel like you know them and you remember their kids' names and you're part of their wedding day story. And I think the beautiful thing about social media is you can let that personality come across and you can totally bond with clients in a way that you wouldn't have been able to just even a couple of years ago.
Right. Yeah, it's a way. I talk a lot about the value of doing a newsletter. And I think that I always come back to it's something you should be building out.
Yes.
The reason being is that it allows you to drip gradually in small bite-sized pieces your personality, where they get to know you over time. I think as humans, nothing replaces time for developing a relationship. There's all these things we can do that are important and play a big part, but it's just little bits over time. There's nothing that can replace that, right? And being able to be where your customers are, which a lot of them are on Instagram right now, it allows you to show off yourself, and then also I think it gives your audience an opportunity to get to know you a little bit, little by little.
Absolutely. And I think that's something so pertinent to remember is, especially for those of you that are high school senior photographers, and you probably know this already, but if you don't, get on Instagram because that's where they are. They're not on email. They are not on Facebook. They are on Instagram. So if you can be where they are, meet them on their terms, on their timeline, whether it's in between classes or getting ready for school in the morning, you can meet them where they're at. And if you can be where they are and enter into their world instead of always making them come to your world, it makes you so much more approachable and so much more a human to them instead of just a business. And I think that is crucial for all of us to remember.
Okay, so there's so much for us to talk about. I want to dig into Instagram right away.
Yeah.
So there's this, what I'm curious for your opinion on is, so what I've noticed where Instagram stands out from Facebook, at least personally still, is that everybody I decide to follow, I see all of their posts in my feed.
Yes.
And that's a huge distinction now. Like with,
yes.
I get so frustrated with Facebook where like I'll go a couple weeks and I won't see any of my brother's posts. Like my own brother. I'm like, what is going on? Like, just stop managing and trying to figure out what you think I should see. Like, I want to know what's going on in my brother's life. Like,
yes.
Make sure I see that. How do I make, like, there's nothing I can do to, like, remind Facebook. Like, do I have to, like, spend extra time, like, double like his stuff so I know I can see what my brother's doing? I don't get it. Where's that love?
They need a love.
It's like, no, Facebook, really, I really want to see what my brother's doing. I don't care about all these other things, right? Where Instagram, you're still in 100% control. So for me, on a daily basis, I feel like I get to what I would call current every day. Like I've seen all of them and I think if I ever get to a point where there's just too much, then I start, I manage that, like, that overwhelm myself, or I'll unfriend somebody or I'll unfollow somebody so that the ones I am, it fits what I can consume, right? What about you? Are you still able to get through your full list of followers or people you're following on a daily basis?
On Instagram, yes. On Instagram, yes. Definitely not on Facebook, but I think we all know that those algorithms have changed. That ship has sailed. Yep. You got to be strategic over there. Right. But on Instagram, absolutely, I'm still able to reach those clients. I'm still able to see what they're posting. And on the flip side of that, I'm able to ensure, and this is one of the key things that I love, is that I'm able to ensure my clients are seeing what I want them to see, especially when I get an inquiry, because what I've developed is a series of hashtags. So I have a very strong hashtag strategy, for a lack of sounding nerdy, but I do.
Right on,
so what I do, I know, hey, rock on, nerds. So what I do is I have a whole series. So I have hashtag immerse weddings. So if I have a client that contacts me and says, hey, can you shoot my wedding? Number one, I'm very clear on what kind of client I'm looking for and what kind of bride I can really please. If I have a really high-end bride who has 24 bridesmaids, that's probably not going to be my client. So I want to make sure that we are both on the same page. So I will tell them, hey, go to Instagram and check out hashtag immerse weddings. You can see my portfolio. So what I'm able to do, and I do the same thing with seniors or branding shoots that I do, I'm able to curate all that content in a way that I can't necessarily do on Facebook unless I'm creating album after album. But those can just be so time consuming. Whereas on Instagram, I'm literally creating my own hashtag hub of posts that I can use as a digital portfolio with little to no work on my end.
That's really, I think smart. So let's explain for some people that are a little new to Instagram. Who knows? I have a feeling most people understand what it is, but we'll explain. So a hashtag is something you can add to any post.
Yes.
And then it turns it into a link, and so it's kind of like adding a search tag or something.
Yeah.
So as soon as the user taps on any one of those hashtags, it opens up a page that lists all images that somebody else could use that hashtag too, right?
Yes.
Anybody can use it, but it's cool to kind of take ownership or take just start populating different ones yourself. So when people do click on it, that's a really cool way to use it, kind of like mini portfolios.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Absolutely. I think the thing that you have to remember, and I know I hear this question a lot, is should I have a personal account or a business account or one that's kind of both? And a couple things you need to consider. I think that's a very personal decision. As a business owner, I would say 100% separate the two. Have a personal one, have a business one. Now, don't be confused. You can still put some personal things like, Nate, this is ridiculous, but one of my most popular posts that I post, it's like a series that I do now on Instagram, is I take my dog. I have a 90-pound chocolate lab, and I just got a puppy this weekend too, so there's now going to be 2 dogs. I take them to Starbucks, and we get a puppy whip, because they'll give you a little whipped cream for your dog. And just on a whim, I took my dog, and so I have a picture of me and the dog. It was it's one of my top 6 Instagram posts ever.
Yeah.
And it's so ridiculous, but it's what people like to see, you know? So, you can still put that personal stuff on there and get your personality out without saying oh, here's me and a margarita. Oh, here's my kid's soccer game, because your clients They love you, but they don't care about that.
Right,
So
right.
separate those two things. And one of the other reasons that's so crucial is when you create hashtags, and this is important to remember too when you tell your clients to hashtag things,
Yep.
any account that is private, when you click or if they hashtag things, their photos will not show up in that hashtag unless you are friends with them.
Yep.
So as a business, if you are hashtagging and you are private, people
Yep.
are not going to be able to see your stuff. So from that standpoint alone, I think it's really important to have a public business account so that way when you do those hashtags, they're accessible to everyone.
That's really smart. Yeah, that's great. Awesome. So this is really good stuff. So I'm curious, let's talk about people screenshotting. So people get really frustrated with somebody screenshotting their stuff and putting on Instagram, whether they're cropping out a logo or not. What is your approach to handling that with your clients and getting them to post what you want them to post on their Instagram feeds?
So I think as photographers, I think a lot of us, start a photography business and run our businesses as artists. And that's great. And that's a really valuable skill. But I think you also need to shift your mentality that you're not just a photographer, but you are also an entrepreneur.
Right.
And you are a small business owner. And I think a lot of times when you go at it from the small business perspective, like, okay, I own a business. So how do I need to run this from my brain and not my heart? Because I think as artists, we tend to run it from our heart, which is great. And it's one of our gifts. But you also have to think things through and think about, okay, how can this benefit both me and my client?
Yep.
So I think one of the big things, and this is one of the reasons I love sticky albums and these podcasts and these, video calls so much is because there is so much training and there is so much education that happens. The value here is tremendous. And I try to pass that same value onto my clients. So when I post a sneak peek, I'm not just saying, oh, go look at your picture.
Right.
You get a whole email from me that says, okay, now that you've seen your picture, I want you to tag it. Because on Facebook, if they tag it, you get more traffic than if you tag it yourself. So if your client tags it, you get more traffic. So I'll tell them, tag it. And then I'll send them a text message. Oh my gosh, you're getting a ton of feedback on my page. Why don't you share it onto your page? So then I'm educating the moms on what to do.
Yep.
Then when I have my high school seniors, because you can send them all the information, all the messages you want, but they're not going to read it. They are just so excited to get their pictures.
Right.
So what I try to do is when I'm actually photographing them, I'll tell them hey guys, I'm going to post these pictures. Now, just remember, you're not allowed to screenshot them and share them. I will share a sneak peek for you and you can regram that, but don't screenshot it.
Got it.
Now, I do that. Do they always remember? No.
Right.
And, you and I were just talking that the funniest part is they just really don't understand. And you need to pick your battles.
Yep.
Because, I've had clients, I'm sure you guys have had it happen too, where they take their sneak peek and sometimes my stuff on my website says watermarked copy, do not steal, do not screenshot, do not share. And what do? They screenshot it, they share it, and then they tag you. And they're like, look what well, it just
doesn't matter. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I could take a picture of it. I didn't think you meant that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is fine. This doesn't count. So, I just think especially with the high school seniors, they just don't quite grasp it. And so, you have to pick your battles. You can either fight them and say, you need to take that down. That's violation of copyright. Or you can just say, hey, I love that you're so excited. Next time, why don't you tell me the image that you're excited about, and I'll post it for you, and then you can share it.
Right.
That way, you're kind of telling them wasn't so happy that you did that.
Or you just give them the file, right? Say, hey, if you want to post this, I want to give you an optimized version, or I want to give you one that whatever you want. I want you to share on Facebook and Instagram, anywhere you want to share. I want to give you the file that you can do that with. It's just let me know and I'll give it to you. Because it's kind of it's like trying to redirect a river. Put a dam, why stop something that's just going to happen anyway? Just go with the flow. They're going to do it. So why not play nice with them instead of trying to stop this force that is, it's silly to try to prevent it, right?
Hashtag the struggle is real.
Totally. Just give them what they want, and then they're gonna and then make those small requests of, it really means a lot if you would tag me, if you would put this hashtag on it, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
And then I'll tell them too, and I think this is where sticky albums comes in so instrumental, is I'll tell them like, oh my gosh, after you order all your photos and I've delivered them, I have this amazing app. Here, let me show you one on my phone. And I'll show them. And they're like, I get one of those? Yeah, I'll totally give you one of these. And you can put it in your Instagram bio as your hyperlink. And that way all your friends can see it. And they are so pumped. And if they know that that's coming, they are going to just, everyone look at this. Because they're high school seniors. They love themselves.
That's
they love
really
sharing
smart.
their photos.
So let's dig into the specifics of that. So most of us know that one of the limitations, but also part of why people are still Instagram. Like as much as we like to hate on Instagram, there's a reason why it's becoming the most popular one.
Yes.
Because it's not overwhelmed. It's not just a bunch of crappy links of cats and stupid stuff, right?
Buy this. Yep.
Yeah. There's only one place to put a hyperlink, and that's in your profile. And the savvy users are aware of this, and they will swap that link out to whatever it is that's on their mind or that's predominant that day. I've never heard of that, and that's really cool, where you can educate and that's how you get to, you further like raise your brand when you become this trusted advisor. It's like, hey, here's some cool tricks I can teach you about Instagram. Like, they're like, wow, I didn't think you could do that. That's awesome. Yeah. Now you're that much cooler, right? So
absolutely.
You can give them a sticky album link and say, here's how you can put this link in your profile so that they could take a screenshot, or here's an image of like your favorite, share that to your followers, and then say in the description, do like hashtag immerse, at whatever, and then say check out full, or sometimes people will be like, oh my god, check out my app, check out I got my own app, check link in the profile, like
like a little thumbs or fingers pointing up. I do it too.
Oh, that's great. There's another cool hack people are doing where you can put anything in the location, like you can you just put anything you want. It doesn't actually have to be a real location. Yep. It's just a cool new place to put
a mock geotag. Yeah, absolutely. I going along with that same thing. So I just kicked off a whole, because it's springtime, we're kicking off sessions for the year after the slow winter. And so I had my intern go through all of my clients from 2014 and create an app for every single one of them. And none of them knew it was coming. So we created, 60-something, 70-something apps. And then what we did is we sent them all out to the clients and said, hey, here's this new app. Get it on your phone. And so you get that first wow factor. Yep. And they're all like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And by the way, I'm coupling that with a contest because I have found if you dangle something really big and get them excited, they're going to go for it. Yep. So I'm giving away a free canvas to whoever shares this the most. Totally. So I have one app. I think it's on, I have to look at my numbers, but I want to say it's on 67 devices right now. And they've had the link for a week.
That's so cool.
I think they're excited.
That's so awesome.
So that was the first thing. Have
you put like a little JPEG coupon explaining that inside of the album, or you just explain it like in an email?
No, I give it to them in an email. So everyone got a personal email from me. Yep. And it said, I'm going to be doing this contest. Watch for my newsletter that's going to come out next week for more information. So they just got that. I love, like you said earlier, you drip the content. You don't throw it all at once because it's more than they can handle. Right. So I gave them the little teaser. Yep. Then they got a newsletter from me that said, and the newsletter went to everyone, not just my last year's clients. And it said, hey, there's this awesome contest going on. And oh my goodness, you should see how much these people from last year are sharing. Do you guys like this? Do you want me to do this for 2015? Give me some feedback. And so I'm getting my potential clients engaged. And then the next step that just went out a couple of days ago is I created a custom blog post on my page, and I'm going to share that with you. So if you want to pass it on, you're welcome to. Okay. But it's a blog post, and it says literally, here's your app. Here's how we can get the most leverage and the most likes for you. Because if you go at it from a standpoint of, oh, share this, help me get clients, help me get sales, people see through that and they're turned off by it.
Yeah.
So you always want to go at it from like, I'm giving you value. So I went at it from the place, hey, I'm going to show you how to share it with more people so that you can get that free canvas, because I bet it would look amazing above your couch.
Totally.
So they got this blog post and it says, it explains what you just said. You know, you only get one hyperlink. It controls the ads and the clutter, which is great. And here's how you get it in your Instagram bio. So I had it listed out. And again, this goes back to just educating your client.
Yep.
So step by step, you know, step one, get Instagram if you don't already have it. You know, it's that basic.
Yeah.
And then I go through and I have screenshots of my phone with arrows. Put this here, click this here.
Cool.
And then I just did a 2-minute video where I had my phone mirrored onto my desktop.
Yep.
Just recorded the video on my desktop. So I have like a 2-minute video that shows them, because some people, you have to always remember, some people can read it and make sense of it. Other people need to see it. So, you know, I'm hitting both of those learning styles to ensure that they have the most success.
Yep.
They have the least frustration possible. And if that happens, then I'm going to benefit because they're going to share it like crazy.
That's so awesome. So I want to review. This is great. We're both, I can tell we're both teachers. I'm like, that's really good teaching. And you're like multiple learning styles. And let's review for everybody. Here's what you learned today.
Here's your exit card. Tell me what you learned. Let's process, everybody.
I love it. So that's really great. And as a tip to everybody out there, in the latest version of Mac OS and iOS, you can use QuickTime to do a screen share and record. So if you guys have used like a screen recording software, you can Google that, find one of those for free, and just Google. We'll post links to this in our blog post of how you can do this yourself. And I think that you've tapped onto something even bigger than just social.
Yeah.
Is when you take the time to hold your client's hands. It adds that great, like it just adds to the experience, right? And best yet, when you take the time, it doesn't have to be produced perfectly. This does not have to be like Hollywood level production. Just showing yourself, like personally taking the time to show your clients how to do something, it's tremendous.
Yeah.
Best of all, once you have that stuff recorded, if there's any kind of like housekeeping to do, whether it's part of the ordering process, part of the scheduling, getting ready, anytime you can make a small video, whether it's a screen recording or just putting yourself in front of a webcam, you have that as this asset that can save you time. Like, so it might take you 10 minutes to make like a 2-minute video, but every single time that opportunity comes up, whether you've got 50, 100 clients a year, all it takes is, I'm going to grab this link, put it in here, and you're done. You don't have to explain it to that person over and over and over and over again, or to every single person. You just have that kind of in the can.
Yeah.
I like to think about it as like, find something in your business that that you find yourself doing all the time, maybe even several times with every customer. And if it's something that you can create a short video about, every time that happens, you get that chunk of time back, because you can just send it with a link. Like, yep, here we go. We made a video just for you. Here you go. Review this video. And if you have any questions, just give us a call. You get
you get street cred. They're like, oh, you knew I was going to have that problem and you solved it. Or if they're like, I don't need to watch that video, and then they encounter that problem and they're like, oh, well, I think there was a video, and they watch it and you address it.
Yeah. Okay, welcome back, guys. Sorry about that. There was a quick technical glitch, and so we're back to finish up this awesome conversation. I've been looking forward to this. So let's wrap up with a couple fun things, some tactics you've been using with small businesses, and then also the reason why I want to follow up is in our kind of behind-the-scenes conversation. It's so cool to work with other photographers who have taken some of the lessons we've talked about on the podcast in prior months and weeks and actually implemented them. And she's got some really cool stories on how it's working for her in your business. So let's start with the partnering with small businesses. You made a sticky album. Instead of putting your own logo on top, you put a wedding venue's logo on top.
I did. So I watched the webinar, I think it was a year ago. And I just love the value that the Sticky Albums webinars give me. I mean, it's just awesome, and it gets me thinking in ways that I wouldn't normally think. So I love these webinars. And so it was all about, partnering with other businesses. And so there is one venue. I rode horses growing up. I love being in the woods. And so there's one venue that I love. It's got actually a horse barn down. It's got a lake. It's got it's the mason jar wedding basically. And I love that.
Awesome.
And so I wanted to shoot more weddings there. So I did one wedding, and as I was there, I was intentional, and I took photos and had my second shooter also help take photos of just the venue. So we got pictures of the lights and the horse barn and the fields and a wide angle shot of the wedding itself, which is out on their grounds. Cool. And I took all those together and I made them an app, and they didn't know that I was doing this. So I took all those photos, I got their website and their logo, and I put all that on the front slide of the Sticky album, and then filled it with the photos. And then on the last slide I said, do you want a photographer who loves this venue as much as you do? Contact me. And I just sent it off to the venue, not knowing if they would even respond or be excited about it. Yeah. And the lady was just so grateful and so overwhelmed. And, like I was just telling you, I've been able to track my numbers, and I now have, in the next year and a half, I've got 3 weddings at that venue. And I know that the app is on like 70 different devices, and that, the reception coordinator is the only one with that app. So I know it's coming directly from her or brides that are sharing it. So, right. I mean, that's just one little example.
So but I love it.
The 3 weddings at my ideal venue, shoot, that's amazing.
On how much time, just thinking about it, I tell people it's so great that you went out and shot specifically for it. But as a reminder, a lot of photographers, you may have already shot a handful of weddings at a cool venue. Yeah. You've got those assets, put 20 images together, put that logo up top. And I think the add-on, which I love, is that shameless plug. It's great. It's so authentic. Hey, you want a photographer that loves this location as much as you do? Perfect. There's no shame, no harm in doing that, and it further encourages people to take action.
And I think the brides. We talked about this. Brides now are getting younger and younger, and they're on Instagram, and that goes along with that whole hashtag strategy that we were thinking about. And using, so that same venue, I will do hashtag with that venue's name, and I will also put that in a geotag. So when I have a bride, it's the whole concept of moving up the food chain. They book their church, they book their venue, and then after that, it's kind of questionable depending on their priorities.
I think so. That's an awesome way to partner and leverage the skill set that you already have with small businesses. And so it ties in with using a sticky album. It also fits in with helping them in leveraging hashtags with venues or small businesses also. How are you doing that?
So with hashtags, it's really interesting. A lot of people, the younger generations, as we all know, are on Instagram, and they're familiar with the whole hashtag strategy. A lot of people, you got to think, a lot of reception coordinators aren't familiar with that same concept and that whole marketing style. It's still very, very new. I actually saw a stat yesterday, Nate. It was crazy. It said, it was for Australia, but I'm assuming United States is very similar. For every 3 minutes a user spends on their mobile device, 1 minute of that is on Instagram. 1 minute out of 3. That is huge. Yeah. That is huge. And we need to be leveraging this. So I'll talk to them about do you have a hashtag for your venue? And if they look at me like I'm crazy, then I talk to them about what that means and help them come up with something. And from my standpoint, as I'm posting photos and tagging photos, I'm using their geotag. So if someone's on Instagram and they look at that venue and they click on it, my photos are going to come up in the news feed. And if they see me over and over and over and over again at that venue, they're going to think, okay, number 1, this girl has experience here. And number 2, I'm able to see a lot of her photos and they're the style that I like. Totally. So it's just that idea of moving up the food chain. They're going to book the reception first. They're going to book the church first. So if I can be tagging and linking onto those things in a genuine way, not just tagging them for the sake of tagging them. But if I can tag them in a genuine way or use their hashtags, it's going to get me in front of my brides because I'm moving up the food chain. And that's exactly what you want to do.
One cool hack I tried it once when I was at the WPPI, and I've seen a couple people do this really well, where what you are looking out for is a hashtag that is that's growing in popularity, right? So
Oh, yeah.
one way to know that people are looking at it is you could infer that the more people posting or using the hashtag, so whether it's the bride and groom that created their own for the day, if it's the venues hashtag or something like that, you can check it throughout the day and see how many people are posting to it, right? And then you can, what I like to call is like hijack it for a sec and do like, if you're quick, to do like 3 posts in a row, so you get like a row, like your own row to yourself. And then Vanessa Joy, who I've had on the show too, I follow her. She did a wedding last weekend where she was quick enough to, she went into Photoshop, I'm assuming, took like a highlight shot from that day and split it into 9 squares.
Oh, and did that.
And then just said, it's like you're hoping that nobody else will post, right? And interrupt that cool mosaic, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a creative way to jar people. It's like, oh wow, what is this? Because if you just see it in the feed, it looks weird. But if you go to the hashtag, then all of a sudden it's this really cool big picture.
Yeah, because people, I mean, you think about it, when you look at your phone, you're mindlessly scrolling, and when you see someone that says like, click here, follow this, or you see something like that, your brain is mentally jarred and it forms a connection.
Yep.
And if it could be a positive connection in your viewer's mind, good to go.
Totally. Okay, so I'm gonna do my impersonation of this funny commercial I've seen. So I'm hoping that there's enough marketer fans out there that watch Mad Men, and it might be because I watch it on demand or something. But there's this one commercial from Adobe right now for their like marketing cloud software. I don't even understand what it is. They get kudos for having a funny ad where it's these 2 hipster like bike messengers in an elevator, and one's like, "Hey man, you on woo woo?" He's like, "Oh yeah, everybody's on woo woo." And then the ad agency guys are in the back like, "Change everything, we got to get on woo woo really fast." Like it speaks to your point of how many people are on Instagram right now. Like yes, Instagram, absolutely. If you're going to put any effort into understanding it and leveraging any social channel, I would say Instagram's where people are at right now.
Yeah.
That being said, I think a good segue into, we're going to talk about email next, is after in this commercial, they all come back and the ad agency has dumped all this money into this one channel, and they show the same 2 guys like, "Hey man, you still on woo woo?" And he's like, "Nah, my mom's on woo woo." It's like, as quickly as a social channel can blow up, they can also become like the counter fad. Like teens aren't on Facebook. Like that's the joke, right? They're not on Facebook because their parents are on Facebook. They're going to be on Snapchat or Instagram or something else right now.
Meerkat, yeah.
Yeah, and so yes, it's important to be there to leverage that channel, but to not let, I think photographers kind of got whiplash with Facebook, where we put all this energy into growing our own pages.
Yes.
And getting all excited about how many likes we had. And then all of a sudden, overnight, it's like, oh, whoops.
Nobody's seeing it.
Yeah, nobody cares. Oh, unless you give them some money.
Yep.
So, great.
Or if you know how to leverage it.
Totally. And you can still do that. I think if you go into it with the right mindset that, hey, I've got a budget here to promote some posts, and my target audience I know is there. If you're going after moms that you know are on Facebook, go for it and just have the right expectations going in. That being said, I think on plenty podcasts I have gone on my soapbox about email. And I'm super stoked to hear that you also took some of that advice to heart and have grown your email list. So let's start at the end. I love starting at the value. So as a result of you putting in the work, which doesn't sound like too much relative, put in some work, grew your list, and what are the results you got of building this list?
Yeah, so I kept hearing you talk about this list and this MailChimp and this MailChimp and MailChimp, and I'm like, I don't know what this is. And so I let it kind of just be background noise for a little bit and just soaked it in. And, this past August, I did start an email list, and I've grown to the point right now where I have, I think, 4 or 5 different lists going for, different projects that I'm working on or different clients. And I have I had to up my budget because I think I'm up to like 1,500 people now on all of my lists combined.
That's awesome. That's something to celebrate.
That is, and that's similar. Like right now, my Instagram and my Facebook numbers are right around the 2,000 mark on each page independently. So, my email list has grown to almost match that. And I think that is such an important thing for people to know because, the thing, especially that we've seen with Facebook, they've changed the algorithms. If you don't know how to work the system, if you don't have your call to actions lined up, you are not going to get eyes on your stuff. Right. The only thing you truly own right now is your email list. That is direct contact with your clients, with your targeted followers, and as artists, we can convey that in a pretty and an aesthetic way. And you and I were talking about how to build the list and, did I have time for it? I didn't think so, but I just did one little push back in August and I was blown away. So the way I book myself is that I only book a season at a time. So if I have someone contact me and say, I want to book in session in 4 months, I don't accept them. I tell them you need to get on my email list because I open my seasons 2 weeks before the real season starts. So for example, fall season, I usually open on August 1st. And when I open it on that date, I already know the session dates that I'm going to be shooting. And so I can say to my clients, here are your 15 dates to choose from for the next 3 months. Yep. And the cool thing is, Nate, last fall I sold out. I think I had 34 sessions from like mid-August to early December. Yep. I sold out of those within 36 hours. And I had all deposits paid within a week.
That's so cool.
That's crazy. So, literally what this did for me is I marketed one time and sold out. So I didn't have to market at all the rest of fall. And it creates a demand and an urgency that is just undeniable. So what I tell people, going back to the point, is when someone gives me an inquiry and says, I want to book with you, I tell them the only way to get access to my dates is to be on my list.
Right, be on the newsletter.
So that link is on every inquiry. It's on all my emails. I'm in the process of, revamping my website and getting that on there as well. And so I'm literally not doing a thing, and I'm constantly getting people on my list. It's my call to action on my Facebook page.
So once you get people on the list, are you sending out a newsletter yet, or no? Are you just sending out this, hey, it's time to, if you want to book, you better hurry, here you go.
So if by newsletter you mean a random email whenever it crosses my mind,
I love your honesty. Yes. Good for you.
No, right now what I'm finding is, I teach photography workshops to soccer moms and to professional photographers. So for those, yes, there's content that is coming out. I'm huge on my social media pages. I actually have a second Instagram and Facebook account. It's sparkle.society on Instagram, so sparkle.society. And I'm huge on giving value. And I think that's, again, one of the reasons I love sticky albums, because you're not asking for something, you're giving tremendous value. And so that's what I'm trying to give to the people on my list. So for the photographers, yes, there's more consistent.
For your portrait clients, it's like, I should probably nurture them a little bit. Keep them keep them on my mind. Keep me on their mind. That's what I say. Yeah.
You should see my bathroom mirror. I keep a dry erase marker in the bathroom because I do all my thinking in the shower. And so I'll get out of the shower and I have literally so I have all these, I'm going to be developing a series for my soccer mom clients or my portrait clients this summer, that once a month or twice a month, I'm going to have the email will come out and there's a project to do with your kids, like a photography project.
Cool.
In addition to here's what you should wear to your session and here's what you need. Here's how you take a better snow photo. Oh my gosh. If you can give them, I posted a Facebook video, Nate. I was very strategic, and this is something I think we all need to be mindful of, is when do you send things out? Right. I posted a video on how to take better photos in the snow, and I timed it so that it got posted the day before a major snowstorm. Oh my word, that thing, I think I had over 2,000 views on the video, and I did not promote it.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Insane. So if you can give them value, they will love you. So I guess point of the story, I don't try to just send out a newsletter just because. I only try to do it when I have something of value to give them.
Yeah, somebody smart told me when I was thinking, how often should you send an email? Is it daily? Is it weekly? Is it monthly? What is it? And I think there's, on one hand, for those of you that like structure, and you could do a lot of work in advance, and you can kind of have it just set it and forget it, and it'll run automatically. That's cool. But I think a lot of creatives we have opportunity to grow there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But at the same time, what the line is you send something to your audience anytime you have something to say that's valuable.
Yes.
If there's no, like if you're sending something of value every day, awesome. That's great. If your audience is opening the email, reading it, giving you great feedback, every day is perfect. It works, right? But other than that, I think focusing on value first is really smart.
Absolutely.
That's
because
cool.
people they're so bombarded right now. So bombarded. You don't want to be another piece of noise. You want them to look forward to, I got this email from my photographer. I wonder what she has to say. I haven't heard from her.
And the trade-off, like back to your point about timing, is while it's I think it's easy to automate stuff and it's smart and it's a good way to run a business, but it's harder to do like relevant stuff. Right?
Yes.
When you know, there's a snowstorm, I'm going to use that one that I had planned on waiting for a snowstorm. Or it's raining today, I'm going to do a post about taking pictures in the rain or whatever it might be, right? So there's that's a big opportunity to be able to respond to what's happening in the area or what's happening in the weather, whatever its current event. I think there's a lot of value there too.
And I think you can do so much. I was just saying, if you can do some like forward thinking and kind of have like, if you have an idea in your head that you're like, oh, this would be really cool, shoot the video now, shoot the photos now so that you have it ready to go.
Right.
So when that event pops up, you're not, struggling to create the content. It's already done. You just have to post, you know?
Exactly.
I think that helps.
Okay. I'm going to wrap up with one more thing I wanted to pull out of your earlier strategy was really good, is this concept of exclusivity.
Yes.
I think this ties into things I've said about a portfolio. We always want to have keep your portfolio short and sweet. You always want people, you want to leave them wanting more. Because if they want more, then they've got to call you. They've got to email you. They've got to reach out to you. They've got to get onto your newsletter. If they're overwhelmed by all of the things that are on your site that don't have anything to do with them, I think that's the risk we run into. Is like as photographers, we do so many different things. If you do a lot of different types of photography, make sure that it's segmented well in your site or even have separate sites. So there's this good quote we were talking about the other day. People don't care about you and what you do. They care about themselves and what you can do for them, right?
Yes.
And so keeping things short and sweet. And then finally, this whole idea of exclusivity where it subconsciously, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like, it makes people think, oh, wow, like she sells out quickly. Like
she's in demand.
That's social proof that this is important. And that can be part like reality. And it can also be part like, no, I just want to have a life. So I only shoot during these small window, and if you want to get in, you've got to be able to jump fast at it. Really smart strategy to balance your life and shoot when it works for you, and two, to create some excitement and some engagement and want people to it's so funny, it's counterintuitive where we always want to say yes. But some of the coolest ways to get a client to want to work with you is to say, actually no, you got to wait, or here's what you got to do to work with me. They're like, whoa, then it's like, I want even more now. So really good stuff.
It makes you desirable.
Right, totally. Okay, as always, I feel like we could go on for another hour. We'll just have to schedule another session,
twist my arm
next time. Thank you guys so much to learn more from this awesome resource. We're going to include a bunch of links below. Tell us real quickly what you're working on and what's coming up in the future for you.
Yeah, so I have a master's in art education, spent 10 years in the classroom, and absolutely have a heart for teaching. And so one of the things that I found lately is that I've been able to create some online photography courses. So I already have some for beginning photographers. Yep. Right now I'm working on some that are going to be meant for professional photographers. So coming up in June, I'm going to have one that is all about building a successful photography business. So it's going to be everything from like paying your taxes, setting up an LLC, to how do I market? market.
Right.
And then in the fall, there's going to be a marketing course that comes out all about social media, all about my like behind the scenes little tricks that I do and ways that I work with my clients. So I'm really excited. Each course is going to be like 8 weeks long, lots of hands-on interaction with me. I'm in the middle of filming these series right now, and I love it. It's amazing.
Good for you. Awesome.
Thanks.
Well, yeah, we'll stay tuned as those launch. But you guys be sure to click on the links in the show notes and in the blog post to get on Cyrissa's email list, and she'll keep you in the loop also. I love it.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, heck yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, and you have an awesome rest of your day.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Cheers.